I'm the zookeeper. This is EZ, and once again, welcome to Emerald Zoo. So today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrients, and I've seen grows, different nutrients, and the grow stores you walk in and there's rows and rows of nutrients that just befuddle me. But you don't seem to use a lot of nutrients. Why is that?
Okay. Um, when it comes to the plants and with chemicals and stuff, I like to keep it as organic as possible, and that's again it goes back to the dirt and why I like dirt. You don't need to add if you're adding a whole lot of chemicals to your plants to make them go or grow or something's not right. You got to rethink your process. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't have to be using a lot of chemicals or stuff to make. There are. I do use a few things. I'll show you right up here. I'll show you what I use, and I'll tell you why. But it all comes down to NPK, health of the plant.
Okay, so what is the NPK?
When you look at fertilizers or soils or anything like that, it's going to have an NPK value. That's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The N is the nitrogen, the P is the phosphorus, and the K is the potassium. And all those are building blocks that your plants absolutely need in order to grow. And there's a lot of macronutrients that go in with that. Some of the borons and the calciums and the magnesiums, but the NPKs are your critical ones.
Okay, so what define what that N means and the P means and the K means? Can I throw a potato in there? That's potassium.
No, well, yeah, sort of. You could if it was composted first, but when let's make this real simple. When you think about the NPK values, think about the N as what the plants need to be green and lush and pretty.
That's what they eat.
That's what they no. They're eating
No.
the sugars from the photosynthesis. The nitrogen just helps that process. That's what makes them green.
Oh.
That's the lush part. The the phosphorus. Think about this. Phosphorus reaches down and helps them bloom and fruit.
So during the veg period, you don't give them the P.
They're not big on the P. No,
Okay.
P
Comes later.
P comes later. Your potassium. Think about potassium as the well-being of the plant. That's going to go up into the plant, and that's going to help with its general well-being and health. Just think about those. It's green and lush with the N. You want to reach down and help the plant fruit and bloom with the P. And the K helps with the plant's general well-being. And that also helps with, if you've noticed, I start moving plants with air currents little.
Right.
You've seen me you've seen me start wiggling plants since they were little. That constant wiggling around helps them build up cellular wall structures, and that's what helps them learn to support themselves when they go into flower and they get that big heavy nugs that you're looking for. That's where all that plays in. And I don't use a lot of those because I believe that if you start with a good base, and I do, I'll put it like this. When you go out and buy a printer and you buy a Canon printer, you usually stick with Canon paper, Canon ink, Canon everything because it all just works together better. I have found a package that works together better. I like the Fox Farm soils. I blend them. Yes, I do. I blend them. You end up with a super soil. And then I supplement with a little bit of CalMag and just a light little bit of nutrients that they also make because it works well with their soils. Their engineers know what they put and didn't put in the soil. And it's a good soil base. All I'm doing is putting back the things I know those plants use a lot of during those stages.
Okay, so I do know because you've taught me that the roots need not the roots themselves, but the microbes in the soil that the roots utilize.
To micronazole, and I usually will dust with micronazole as the plants go into the soil because that helps promote root health. And a lot of the teas that you see me use, they're not about feeding the plants per se as it is about promoting root health, root zone health, because the healthier that is below the soil, the healthier the plant is going to be above the soil. And that's just the way that works. You can't have a healthy plant above the soil line if below the soil line you've got nutrient lockout because of pH issues or over fertilizing. Or that's why I like to keep things, the plants know what they need. I just make it available.
Okay, so I know that the air also feeds your plant. Tell me about a little bit about the CO2.
Oh, CO2, when you get into higher ranges of temperatures and humidities, supplemental CO2 allows your plants to thrive in those environments. As you know, we've been testing some TNB Natural CO2 enhancers, but we have found some interesting things with meters, because I monitor and everything around the plant: air quality, air in, air out, temperature in, humidities. You know how I am with grows, so we've noticed some things around CO2. We're not able to achieve a significant CO2 boost with venting our room. You can't grow you cannot grow cannabis in a bubble. It just you can't. You've got to have air, fresh air in and out. Realizing the plants don't utilize a lot of oxygen, the root zone does. And that's why I use the cloth pots, because the cloth pots allow for a lot of gas exchange in the root zone. CO2 is one of those things that, yes, it's got its value, but you have to hold CO2 at 1,450 parts per millionth with the lights on only, because that's when the stomatas on the leaves are open and the plant's actually respirating CO2, taking CO2 in. Once the lights go off, stomata's closed and the plants don't care about bringing CO2 in anymore. They've started a different process. You can cut the CO2 off, but while the lights are on and you're usually ventilating your room in and out because you're controlling temperatures and humidities, what we found is I cannot maintain CO2 at significant levels, but we're still trying.
Okay. So is there anything else you need to tell me about nutrients?
No, nutrients don't need to be that complex. Again, if you start with a good base, start with a good know. And if you're doing hydro and you're doing your cocoa, there's certain types of mediums where you do need to know exactly what you're giving your plants, because you're controlling that. I don't like to force feed my plants. I'll let them take what they want, and then I'll supplement with what I know they're going to need.
Okay, great. So I think that sums that up, doesn't it?
Yeah, just don't let nutrients overwhelm you. And when you walk into a grow or a hydro store, you don't need to walk out with 2 bags full of bottles of different stuff. You don't. Just keep that in mind. Keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it as organic as you can, and the flower that you're using in the end is going to treat you a whole lot better. Period.
Right on. Thanks for hanging out at the zoo.
Thanks for joining me here at the Emerald Zoo Studios. I do appreciate everybody that's out there. We love you. We appreciate you. Peace.